Well, here we go again.
Greetings, He fans! It's time for a long overdue trip back to Eternia, the world of swords and lasers, dragons, and robots.
Excuse me, but could you define my present location?
Welcome to the 80s Toy Museum and the History of Masters of the Universe 1985 edition. And a big thank you once again to the ToyCollectorsGuide.com for their comprehensive visual guide of year-by-year releases, as well as Wiki Grayskull and BattleRamblog.com. Wave 4 of Masters of the Universe was released in 1985 and consisted of 10 standard carded figures, 2 deluxe carded figures, 1 deluxe boxed figure, 5 boxed vehicles/beasts, a playset, and caps. The heroes were outnumbered this time with only 3 standard single carded figures and 1 deluxe figure. But what a deluxe figure it was. Of all the variant He-Man figures over the years, this one was my favorite.
Say, haven't we met somewhere before? You look familiar.
Thunder Punch He-Man took the waist spring gimmick to another level by adding the sound of a gunshot.
Well, I have a little unfinished business with Skeletor.
You could feed a ring of standard cap gun ammo, or purchase the official Masters of the Universe Thunder Punch ammo, into his backpack, load him up by twisting his waist to unleash the loudest punch in the universe!
Well, if you say so.
Thunder Punch He-Man included 2 cap gun rings, the first 2 of dozens, if not hundreds used for any kid lucky enough to have this figure, the Sword of Power, this time in gold, and a chrome shield that could hold a ring of ammo or the Power Sword. Like all other He-Man variants, Thunder Punch He-Man never appeared on the show.
What is that?
That is another memorable 80s hero that hit the pegs in '85. Moss Man, the pine-scented heroic spy and master of camouflage.
Talking moss, I don't believe it.
He's a recolored Beastman, but with green flocking, similar to Panther. And like Panther, he'd leave little bits of flocking all over the place with rough play.
Oh, please excuse me. I'm always leaving bits of me everywhere. All right, you stragglers, jump to it.
He included a brown mace for gardening. On the show, he's never shown to battle or attack anyone, only help.
What can I do to help?
We've got to find a way to plug the hole fast.
I've got an idea.
That's great! The seaweed is filling the hole.
Or spy.
Hurry, please, hurry.
Being so intrinsically connected to nature,
Good day, my friends. Would you mind leaving the wall so we might see it?
it seems Filmation made the choice to not portray a character that represented life itself as someone who harmed the lives of others. But why don't we go right to the source? Hey Mossy, how do you feel about hurting others?
That's not very nice.
Mossman only appeared in 2 episodes, Here, There, Skeletor's Everywhere, and The Ancient Mirror of Avathar, plus a small cameo in that year's Christmas special.
Robato, are we glad to see you?
Eternia wasn't just a world of magic, it was a world of robots as well. That's how we used to pronounce robot in the 20th century.
These robots just never learn, do they?
Well, some of us anyways.
Why, it's a robot.
Domo arigato, Mr. Man-at-Arms, for creating Robato, the heroic mechanical warrior.
I am called Robato. I am an explorer from the planet of Robatica.
Well, in the mini-comic at least, although Duncan brought him back to life on the show by repairing him.
Man-at-Arms is a genius.
He included 3 different attachments for his right arm, similar to Trapjaw.
It is a quite harmless procedure, I assure you.
An axe, a claw, and a double-barreled laser blaster. When his waist was twisted, the gears in his see-through torso would turn, and his jaw would go up and down. He only appeared in 1 episode, Happy Birthday Robato, where he was given a different origin being an alien robot.
I see.
And Thunder Punch He-Man wasn't the only hero throwing wild punches. The final good guy of '85 was the Cyborg Cyclone, the heroic fist-flinging Tornado. Originally named Tornado, Cyclone didn't have the standard spring punch action.
And it's a good thing, too.
This one could spin around and around in tornado-like fashion.
Cyclone, do your stuff.
You got it.
With enough force to knock out Mr. Perfect at SummerSlam 1990 for the Intercontinental Championship.
We have a new champion! This place is erupting! The winner of this tournament
He would have made a great tag team partner for the Texas Tornado Kerry Von Erich. His only accessory was a shield. He only appears in 2 episodes, Beauty and the Beast,
That's no fairy tale!
and Here, There, Skeletors Everywhere. And unlike Mossman and Robato, he doesn't get much to do in his appearances. He also makes a cameo in the Christmas special. The 4 heroes in '85 went up against 9 evil warriors, but not all of them were the evil forces of Skeletor.
Dragon Blaster.
The other deluxe carded figure was Dragon Blaster Skeletor.
Skeletor, how good to see you again.
Since Thunder Punch HeMan was a cap gun in action figure form, Skeletor was a squirt gun. The dragon on his back could be filled up with water and spray dragon spit on unsuspecting heroes.
If the monster can't handle the job, I'll have to do it myself!
Which he did with his purple Sword of Darkness, which could be combined with He-Man's sword, and a chain with a handcuff to make sure Skeletor's dragon couldn't escape.
He can no longer be trusted.
He did not include any spoo, though.
No, I don't want any spoo. I hate spoo. I don't even know what spoo is.
Unlike Thunder Punch He-Man, Dragon Blaster Skeletor's armor could be removed and attached to other evil warriors so they could take part in squirt gun fights as well.
Fights are fun. I like fights.
Like all the other Skeletor variants, he never appeared on the show in this form. Skeletor was joined by 3 minions in '85. Too Bad was the double-headed evil strategist? Not according to Filmation. It was 2 evil warriors in one. Tuvar, the blue half, and Badra, the purple half. And they couldn't stand each other.
You better have your eyes checked, you lame brain.
Yeah, watch it, Motor Mouth.
They included a shield and featured a spring gimmick in their arms for a bear hug.
There it is. Oh, he's slapping a bear hug on. His patented python-like bear hug slapped on.
But not the most powerful bear hug in the universe. That belonged to the man of the hour, the man with the power, Superstar Billy Graham.
Superstar Billy Graham will put the 22-inch python arms around your body and squeeze and make you holler, Uncle! Yes, I quit!
He said it! He said it! I can't believe it!
Your winner, Superstar Billy Graham.
Superstar Billy Graham! The man of the hour! The man with the power!
The spring gimmick could also be used to allow Tuvar and Badra to punch each other in the face.
You're glad I thought of that.
Hey, stop punching yourself. Next was the favorite figure of the Legion of Doom.
Good for us, but bad for you.
Spydor was the untouchable master of evil combat.
Spydor will be winner. Spydor is strongest.
Spydor talks too much.
He included a spiked club. Since '85 was all about adding a gimmick on the spring waist gimmick, Spydor had a trident that would pop out of his left arm when you twisted him. Luckily, his spikes were only pretend sharp.
And we're gonna set you up on the big man's shoulders, and then I'm coming out the top.
Yes, you all!
Unfortunately, the final evil warrior of Skeletor didn't have a pretend gimmick.
Holy the smell!
It was very real, and I'm sure a lot of MOTU fans have the horrid smell still burned in their memory. There's another figure besides Mossman from '85 who had a certain odoriferous emanation.
Really? There is?
Stinkor was the evil master of odors, and I distinctly remember there still being a wall of him at the Toys R Us in Kitchener on clearance, when all the other Masters of the Universe had long since sold out.
Really?
In addition to his shield and removable armor, Stinkor came with a stench that would have made Big Van Vader go, "Hey kid, it's time to wash your gear."
I'm running full filtration and I can practically taste the stench.
It's an interesting gimmick at first, but the charm wears thin very quickly. Unfortunately, the stench remained thick for a long time because instead of simply spraying a scent on like they did for Mossman, which faded over time, Mattel mixed patchouli oil in with the plastic to give Stinkor a baked-in funk that remains to this day.
The stink is following Oedipus. Oh, the stink is coming from Oedipus.
Unlike Too Bad and Spydor, Stinkor never appeared in the Filmation animated series, but he did appear in the Stench of Evil minicomic, and had a great origin story in the Mike Young 2002 animated series reboot. The 5 remaining villains were part of a new subgroup that were just as at odds with Skeletor.
Skeletor! I hate that bone-faced bog waddler.
As they were with HeMan.
The evil horde!
The Evil Horde debuted in 1985 with 4 carded figures and a deluxe boxed figure. Despite being on Masters of the Universe cards though, these ruffians never appeared on the He-Man and the Masters of the Universe animated series. They debuted in the 1985 movie Secret of the Sword, which introduced She-Ra, the Princess of Power, to the world of He-Man and launched her new animated series while acting as a final chapter to He-Man's show. Interestingly, there's no mention of She-Ra or her world Etheria on any of the Horde packaging, only that they're out to defeat both He-Man and Skeletor and rule Eternia. So it seems the Horde was originally intended to be strictly Masters of the Universe characters, but were included in the She-Ra show as the antagonists, since the Princess of Power toy line was thin on villains. Despite being the new villains on the block in toy stores, the Horde is ancient and has been around for a very long time.
For a very, very long time.
The Horde was led by Hordak, the ruthless leader of the evil Horde and the mentor of Skeletor.
You've improved since last we saw each other, my pupil.
More than enough to deal with you, my old teacher.
He came fully loaded with accessories, a crossbow, a bat shield, removable chest armor, and a cape. No additional action features aside from the spring-loaded waist, but when you've got a cape, you don't need any other gimmicks.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, Mindbender. That guy's got more gimmicks than DDP in '93. His evil horde consisted of Grizzlor, the hairy henchman.
There he is. We've got you now.
He included a crossbow, a horde standard,
That is our policy.
chest straps, and fur. Lots of fur. He kinda looked like one of those critters from the 1986 movie. Not much to him other than being a typical evil henchman.
Good going, Grizzlor.
The next horde member sucked. Literally. Leech was the evil master of power suction. In addition to his standard horde crossbow, Leech had suction cups on his hands and face. The face suction was activated by pressing a button on his back. On the She-Ra show, he could use his hands to drain the energy of his foes.
Not until I drain enough energy to make her helpless.
Anana was the evil spy with pop-out eyes.
My stun beams will fix them.
He came with a crossbow, and his action feature was eyes that popped out in real Ghostbusters Fright Feature fashion when the button on his back was pressed. He had 4 legs, although 2 of each were stuck together. On the She-Ra show, he could fire energy beams from his eyes. He's the hapless whipping boy, or whipping monster, of Hordak, the Starscream of Etheria.
I'll do this!
And Modulo was the evil beast of 1,000 bodies.
Incredible.
This Build-A-Figure came complete, all in one box. No having to buy a whole wave of figures to piece together a Build-A-Figure like today.
That is disgusting.
I don't know if there's actually 1,000 configurations like the box claims, but there's enough parts to keep you busy for quite a while.
And I, Modulo, am just the one to make use of it.
In addition to all his various body parts and connectors, he came with a laser?
Ooh, that looks interesting.
Hey, where's the Horde crossbow? This may be because he was originally intended to be a member of Skeletor's evil warriors instead of the Horde. Unlike his fellow Hordesmen, he appeared in 3 episodes of the HeMan show. Here's a little-known fact. His debut episode, Happy Birthday Robato, was scripted by J. Michael Straczynski, the Babylon 5 and Real Ghostbusters guy. Straczynski, being a big Star Trek Original Series fan, fashioned him after Mr. Spock, thanks to the pointy ears on one of his heads.
Fascinating.
Modulo would go on to appear in 5 episodes of the She-Ra series, along with the He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special.
I've had it with you, Skeletor. I am leaving.
He was like the traveling NWA world champion, making all the territories.
Right here it is, Thunderbolt. 10 pounds of pure gold. Come and get it.
He fell out of favor pretty quickly with Hordak, though, being demoted from the lab to the kitchen.
In that case, you are no longer an official Horde scientist. You are Horde cook, until I say otherwise.
You know, sometimes it just doesn't pay to be evil.
5 vehicles/beasts accompanied the figures that year, and once again the villains outnumbered the heroes. Since quite a few figures had been released up to that point, the neutral Battle Bones collector's carry case was released to transport them. It could hold a dozen figures, and weapons could be stored in the mouth. It's made of fairly rigid material though, so a common issue with this piece is broken ribs from inserting or removing the figures. It never appeared on the show, but was prominently featured in the mini-comic Skeletor's Dragon, and popped up in the Stench of Evil too. Thanks to Tichondrius Fitz for sending this one along many moons ago. The sole heroic vehicle was the Basa Surus. It had a dinosaur design, although this one is missing the headpiece. It was equipped with a boulder arm that would smash down when the button was pushed. It never appeared on the show, but did appear in the Battle of Robato minicomic. For Skeletor's crew, Stroidor was recolored as Night Stalker, the evil armored battle steed. The original name was Nightmare, for those who appreciate a good pun. It never appeared in the show or the minicomics, but did pop up in the UK comics. The Land Shark was a tank with a shark's head that chomped as you pushed it along the ground. I don't have a vintage one, but the Origins release is essentially the same. Bad fish, not like going down to the pond chasing bluegills and tommycods. This shark, swallow you whole. Little shaking, little tenderizing, and down you go.
He'd been bitten in half below the waist.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
What you call your real big budget spectacular finish.
Just wish it could sing as well as its little brother.
Hey Squirt, check out the pipes on a real crooner.
Oh my God.
I got flowers in the spring. I got you, oh Scooby-Doo, to wear my ring. Oh. And when I'm sad, you're a cloud. When I get scared, you're always around.
It was just breathtaking. Honestly.
You have just received a golden buzzer from the 5th judge, the AGD audience.
Spydor was probably producer John Peters' favorite Masters of the Universe toy.
It's a little invention I've been toying with.
A battery-powered giant mechanical spider.
Call it Master Power. Spydor's legs crawl into sight. You better step aside, because he also bites.
It could carry a passenger, and when you turned it on, walked around on 6 legs? Oh well, it's not the first time an arachnid didn't have 8 legs.
How do you know I don't?
It didn't appear on the show, but was featured in the mini-comic Hordak, The Ruthless Leader's Revenge, as well as 2 of the golden hardcover books. And the playset for 85 went to the Horde, one of the most terrifying playsets of all.
The Fright Zone! The Fright Zone! The Fright Zone!
The Fright Zone.
This place could win first prize in an ugly contest.
Easily.
The trap-filled stronghold of terror. Unlike the Fright Zone on the She-Ra show, which was an industrial base, this one was a spooky rock area with traps.
Don't bother me with details!
It had an evil tree trap. I guess they didn't get the Filmation memo about nature not being harmful. A prison cave with cage door.
Well, that's one prison the Horde will have to do without.
A foot trap. And another cave that a puppet monster could attack from.
I always feel at home here. And how are you, my pet?
Many of these puppets have degraded and are cracked and falling apart. But it's easy to customize a replacement, something far more wretched and terrifying, and more foul-smelling than Stinkor himself. That's it for toys.
Yes, but there's still so much we don't know.
The He-Man and the Masters of the Universe show had actually ended the year before in 1984.
Oh no!
And all the aforementioned episodes featuring characters that got a toy in 85 had appeared in 84. The He-Man and She-Ra movie Secret of the Sword was released in theaters in the US on March 22nd, 1985, and was released as a 5-parter to open the new She-Ra show later that year in September. And the final appearance for the Masters of the Universe in animated form under Filmation that wasn't exclusively under the She-Ra banner was the He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special, released during Christmas time of 85, where the Eternians learn the story of Christmas.
Christmas time? What's that?
It's the celebration of the birth of someone you'd probably hate even more than He-Man. And we see the nice, kind, and wonderful side of Skeletor.
Listen, I am not nice, I am not kind, and I am not wonderful.
Showing that the most powerful force in the universe isn't the spirit of Grayskull, but the spirit of Christmas.
I don't know what's happening to me, but I must save the children.
A force so powerful that it can soften even the cold and evil heart of Skeletor. For a while.
I don't think I feel well.
Well, I think you're feeling the Christmas spirit, Skeletor. It makes you feel good.
After the Christmas special, any appearances from the Eternians would be as guest stars on the She-Ra show.
Well, what are sisters for, anyway?
And since this is the history of Masters of the Universe, and not the history of She-Ra, Princess of Power, I'll save that for a future Etherian history video.
Farewell, She-Ra! Princess of Power!
Farewell, He-Man! Dear brother!
The animated story of Eternia may have ended.
I hate it when someone interrupts a story.
But print picked up the slack for the lack of animation. In addition to the mini-comics that were included with the figures, 6 hardcovers from Golden Books were released. I Have the Power is an origin story showing how Prince Adam first found the Power Sword. Skeletor's Flower of Power has Skeletor using a plant for evil. Lou Scheimer would be so disappointed. He-Man Smells Trouble features Stinkor. The River of Ruin features Cyclone, Spydor, the Land Shark, and the Basa Surus. Teela's Secret has Teela searching for the identity of her mother. And The Horde sees Hordak and his crew invade Eternia and attack He-Man and Skeletor. Golden also released some softcover books: Meteor Monsters, The Rock Warriors, not featuring Rock-On and Stroidor, The Magic Mirrors, and Secret of the Dragon's Egg, plus some VHS adaptations with narration, music, and animation. Ladybird Books published He-Man Meets the Beast, as well as the adventure game book He-Man and the Memory Stone. Before there were websites, there were magazines. Telepictures published the most powerful magazine in the universe, with the first 4 of 16 being released in '85. These magazines consisted of a short story, a comic, puzzles, and articles. And the Masters of the Universe Annual 1986 was released in the UK in '85. There wasn't much promotional merchandise released in '85. Since Mattel had shifted all their attention to She-Ra, who got the pencil case and party plate treatment that year, He-Man was winding down and graciously passing the torch to his twin sis. She-Ra was cool, but it was sad to see the Masters of the Universe being phased out after only 4 years.
I know how you feel.
He-Man, being one of the ultimate heroes of the '80s though, took it all with grace and humility.
But there is something you can do right now.
What's that?
Give your brother a big hug.
Only 2 full waves were left in the Masters of the Universe toy line, along with a small trickle of a wave in '88. Back in a bit to cover the history of Masters of the Universe 1986 edition.
I shall look forward to it.
Do you want to see a history of She-Ra as well? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks to everyone supporting the channel on Patreon. If you'd like to join the most powerful Patreon in the universe, visit patreon.com/MichaelMercy and gain access to 200 Patreon exclusives amassed over the last 6 years.
Wow, that's a long time.
Or another way to support the channel is by clicking the join button, which will give you access to exclusive sneak peek pics on what I'm working on next, and custom logo emojis only channel members can use in comments and in live chats during live streams.
Now, be gone, He-Man!
And thank you for watching. Feel free to come back and visit the 80s Toy Museum anytime.
Never. I hate this place.
You would, you miserable cad. Push the like to give the video a spike.
Enough talk!
And to join the tribe. Thunder Punch subscribe. By the power of Nerd Mistake!
Got you, oh Scooby-Doo, to wear my ring. Oh.